What's up, guys? My name is Keegan, and today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips for credit card beginners that I wish I knew when I had started. These tips will help you optimize your spending, get more out of every dollar, and help you build credit fast for your future. Tip number 1 is to get started as soon as you can. I know it might sound scary if you just turned 18 to apply for a credit card, but this is the best way to start building relationships with banks and also to help start building your credit so you can get better credit cards, better loans, and better mortgages or anything else you might want in the future. And like I said, even if you're just starting out or you have a poor credit score, you are probably able to get what is called a secure credit card. Secure credit cards are almost like a hybrid between a debit card and a credit card. Secure credit cards will require a deposit, typically equal to the amount of the credit limit on the card, but they spend like a credit card. You buy things off of credit and then later go back and pay off that credit with cash from the bank. Since these cards are typically for people with either bad credit or people just starting out, there will be little to no earning rates, but if you use it right, it'll help you build credit quickly so you can move on to your next card that'll probably have better earning rates.
Hey guys, Editing Keegan here. When I got to this part of the video and I was looking up examples of secure credit cards to show you guys, I realized how many straight up scam secure credit cards are out there. So I just real quickly wanted to touch on that with you guys. There are companies out there that are frankly predatory towards people that are just starting out or have bad credit and frankly don't know what they're doing. And they offer these cards with really high annual fees or like really high APR and other hidden fees without giving you any benefits or earning rates or anything like that on the other end. These companies know that people want to keep their first credit card active so that their average credit card history is longer. And because of that, they want you to sign up for these cards and just continue to pay these annual fees year after year after year without getting any benefits from it. So general rule of thumb, your first credit card should not have an annual fee attached to it. And I would make sure to do your own research and stick to more reputable lenders like Chase, Capital One, or Discover. And I would stay away from anything from Credit One, which is just a straight up ripoff of Capital One, Barclays, or Blue Sky. These companies have terrible reviews, terrible customer service, and a bunch of hidden fees that you just don't want to have to deal with for the rest of your credit card journey. And frankly, I didn't realize how many scam credit cards are out there, so I'll be making a video here soon pointing out the worst credit cards that I can find, as well as giving you guys some good alternatives. So I don't know if that's going to be long form or short form yet, so stick tuned for that, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
Number 2 is to always treat your credit card like a debit card. So what do I mean by that? If I always treat my credit card like a debit card, what's the advantage of having a credit card in the first place? The purpose of a credit card is to get value back on your spend, either through cash back, points, or miles. It is not to spend money that you don't have. Only use the money that you have and that you would be spending already. Your credit limit doesn't matter if you don't have the cash. Now that you've applied for a credit card, you know how to use your credit card. My third tip is don't be afraid to actually use your credit card. As long as you follow the second tip and only spend the money that you have, there is really no downside in using your credit card instead of your debit card for any spending that you can. My first credit card was the Discover It student card. If you're not familiar, the Discover It cards will automatically double your cash back spent in the first year. But I was afraid to use the card because I always grew up thinking that credit cards were how people get into debt. And I didn't take full advantage of that double cash back in my first year because I hardly ever used the card. Now, when I say don't be afraid to use your credit card, you also want to keep in mind you don't want to use too much of your credit limit. Using too much of your credit limit will actually lower your overall credit score. So if you can, you really want to stay under 10% of your total credit usage, but 30% is fine too. Depending on how you pay your bill, you can also use the credit reporting system to your advantage, but we don't have time to get into that today. That's a separate video, so make sure you follow the page if you're interested or subscribe to my YouTube channel for a full in-depth review. So don't be afraid to use your credit card as long as you pay it off. And tip number 4, as long as you pay it off on time and in full every month. I thought that tip number 2 was going to be the most important tip, but this one actually might be. This is the single biggest factor on what will help build your credit score or help tank it if you do it the wrong way. So let's dissect that. You want to pay off on time and in full. On time, what does that mean? This one is simple enough. Just don't be late on your payments and don't miss a payment to avoid your credit card tanking and to help build your credit up. One missed payment can drastically affect your credit score, especially at the start because you don't have very many on-time payments to help balance that out. But the most important part, and the part that I see people getting wrong all the time, is the second part. In full means you want to pay your entire credit card balance every single month. You You absolutely do not want to carry a balance over from one month to the next month, or from one statement to the next statement. Now, if you're like me, you've probably heard that credit card companies like you to do this, and I'm sure they do. However, this will not help your credit score. And the reason that credit card companies like this is because that 30% APR that you see and don't really know what it means you're paying 30% more on whatever you're carrying over to the next month. So, for example, if you have a $100 credit card statement on this period and you carry that over to the next credit card period, you now owe an additional 30% on that $100. This is why credit card companies like you to do this. It's how they make money. And personally, I like credit cards, but I don't want to be paying credit card companies more than I have to. And as long as we're treating it like a debit card and only spending money that we have, it should be no problem. But lastly, once you have all those tips down and you're starting to build credit, number 5 is apply for more credit cards. Now, I don't mean just go apply for any card that you see. Have a plan and know what cards are right for you and apply for those cards. If you're interested in learning more about what cards are right for you, follow my page here on TikTok, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel for more in-depth review of cards as well as credit card strategies. But once you have your credit card strategy down, you know what cards you want to apply for, and you know what cards you are able to apply for, don't wait, go ahead and apply. I wish that I had heard this when I started my credit card journey. I missed out on a ton of value that I could have gotten from mid-level cards by just spending on my Discover It student card until I had a good enough credit score to apply for an elite level card. And that's really why I'm sharing these tips with you guys now, so that I can help you optimize your spending and build your credit to help your money go further. And like I said, if you're interested in learning more about credit cards and personal finance, drop a follow on the page. And if you're interested in more in-depth reviews of cards as well as personal finance tips, check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. But hope this video is really helpful for you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on your way out, and I'll see you next time.